Dear students, in this video, our topic of discussion is going to be vector or cross product of two vectors. First, let's see what is the definition of vector product of two vectors. If the product is done between two vectors and it gives a vector output, then that kind of a product is what is called as vector products. Let's see what is the mathematical definition of it. Suppose I have two vectors A and another vector B, which are inclined with respect to each other at an angle theta, then mathematically A vector cross B vector is defined as the magnitude of A vector times the magnitude of B vector times sine theta and an n cap. So we know the fact that any vector comprises of a scalar part and a vector part, right? So if you observe the mathematical expression, then this magnitude of A into magnitude of B into sine theta represents the scalar part and this n cap represents the vector part. Now the question is, if n cap represents the vector part, how do you find the direction of A vector cross B vector? Before that, let's make a note that n cap is a unit vector which is perpendicular to both A vector and B vector. To put it in simple terms, n cap will be in the direction in which A vector and will be in the direction perpendicular to the plane in which A vector and B vector both are lying. So how to find the direction of n cap is what we are going to see next. So the direction is found by using a rule called as right hand thumb rule. So what exactly does this rule state? So what you need to do is curl the fingers of your right hand from the first vector to the second vector in the shortest direction. Please make a note of this point. You have to always rotate it in the shortest direction, followed by extension of thumb of your right hand, which will give you the direction of resultant of this cross product. So let's visualize how it actually looks like. If suppose this is A vector and this is B vector, if these two vectors are inclined with respect to each other at an angle theta, okay, then if I am performing A vector cross B vector, look at the statement of right hand thumb rule. It clearly states you have to curl the fingers of your right hand from the first vector to the second vector. What do we exactly mean by first and second vector? The vector which is before the cross is considered to be the first, and the vector after the cross is obviously the second one. So A vector cross B vector means first vector to the second vector. So you need to curl the fingers of your right hand from the first vector to the second vector in the shortest direction. Let's visualize it. So what you need to do is hold the second vector at its original position, right? So hold B vector as it is. Now the first vector can reach B vector in two ways. What are the two ways? One is in the anti-clockwise direction or the other is in the clockwise direction. So if you observe under both these scenarios, which direction according to you is going to be the shortest distance? Obviously the logic says it is going to be the anti-clockwise or the counterclockwise direction. So from this what we understand is, if you need to find the direction of resultant of A cross B, then you need to take your right hand and curl the fingers of your right hand in the anti-clockwise direction and extend your thumb. So when you extend the thumb is the one, the thumb faces towards you. So the resultant is facing towards you. Similarly, if I want to perform B vector cross A vector, then according to right hand thumb rule, what I am supposed to do is, if this is considered as first vector and this is considered as second, so I need to keep the second vector fixed. I need to keep A vector fixed. I need to rotate B vector towards A vector in the shortest direction possible. So I can either rotate it clockwise or I can go in the anti-clockwise. But if you observe from both the scenarios, clockwise direction is going to be the nearby direction. So when you curl it clockwise, then you need to take your right hand and curl the fingers of your right hand from B vector towards A vector such that it points in the opposite direction. It will be away from you. So that is going to be the direction of the resultant of these two cross products. The next is, we will extend the concept of right hand thumb rule to orthogonal unit vectors, because when problems are given, the problems will be expressed, the vectors will be expressed in terms of orthogonal unit vectors. At that time, we need to know how to handle them. So how are we going to do? So cross product between orthogonal unit vectors. Before I start the concept, let me explain what orthogonal unit vectors mean. Orthogonal means perpendicular. Unit vectors are the ones which are used for representing the directions. So the orthogonal unit vectors which are famous are I cap, j cap and k cap. So what does I cap represent? I cap represents the direction along the positive x. J cap represents along the positive y direction and k cap along the positive z direction. So when you hold something, remember anything on the right of you is considered as positive x, anything above is considered as positive y, anything towards you is considered as positive z. Okay, keeping all these facts in mind, let's try to find what is the cross product between I cap and I cap. So I cap cross I cap is going to give you magnitude of I cap into magnitude of I cap, sine of the angle between these two vectors. Remember, if I cap is along positive x direction, the other I cap is also along the positive x direction. The angle between them is going to be 0. So sine of 0 degrees followed by n cap. So the answer here is going to be 0 because sine 0 is 0. Similar is going to be the case between j cap and j cap. So cross product of j and j and the cross product of k and k is also going to give you a 0. Now the next question is, what if you perform the cross product between the vectors which are perpendicular to each other, mutually perpendicular to each other? So I cap cross j cap is equal to, let's first visualize it. So I cap is a vector along the positive x direction. J cap is a vector along the positive y direction. So when I do I cap cross j cap, I need to curl the fingers of my right hand from the first vector towards the second vector in the shortest direction. So when I take I cap to j cap, the shortest direction I am able to find is the anti-clockwise direction. So when I curl the fingers of my right hand in the anti-clockwise direction, then I get the thumb pointing towards you. You get the thumb pointing towards you. So as I mentioned previously, when the thumb is pointing towards you, that is considered to be k cap because it is along the positive z direction. So this is taken as k cap. If you perform the cross product between j cap and I cap, if it is j cap cross I cap, then the answer is going to be minus k cap. Why are we getting it like that? Because we need to curl the fingers of our right hand from the first vector towards the second vector in the shortest direction possible. When you see the shortest direction in this case is going to be clockwise. So when I curl the fingers of my hand in the clockwise direction, then minus k cap will be the direction of the resultant. So in a similar way, you can calculate the cross product between the other two combination, I cap cross k cap and k cap cross I cap. Similarly, j cap cross k cap and k cap cross j cap. So one point to be noted here is, if A cross B is C, then B cross A will be minus C. That's what happens here, right? If I cap cross j cap is giving you a C vector, that is k vector, then j cap cross I cap is giving you the direction to be exactly opposite to it. Let's find between I cap and k cap as well. So this is I cap and this is k cap. So when you see from the top, right, you need to curl the fingers of I cap towards, you need to curl the fingers from the direction of I cap towards k cap in the shortest direction. When you observe, this is the shortest direction. When you see from the top, you need to curl the fingers of your right hand in the clockwise direction. When you curl it clockwise, then thumb gives you the direction of the resultant, that is going to be minus j cap. Similarly, if you perform k cap cross I cap, that will give you j cap. Similarly, if I take this as j cap and this as k cap, then when I see from this side, when I see it from this side, then I need to curl the fingers from j cap towards k cap in the shortest direction. When I curl it like this, I am able to see that this direction is clockwise. So when I curl it clockwise, the resultant is in the positive x direction. So j cap cross k cap is going to give you I cap. Similarly, if you perform k cap cross j cap is going to give you minus I cap. So the next point is, do we need to keep performing this kind of an operation every time to find the direction of resultant? The answer is no. You have a simple rule where you put a cycle. It follows a cyclic order. You take I, J, K in the cyclic order such that I, J and K are written in the anti-clockwise direction. In such a way, when you perform the operation between I cap and J cap, the resultant will be K cap. Okay, so anything followed in the, any cross product followed in the anti-clockwise direction is going to give you a positive value. Any cross product performed in the clockwise direction is going to give you a negative value. So let's see the examples. As I told you, I cap cross j cap is going to be positive k cap. So what is going to happen for j cross I? So j cross I, from j to I, according to the cycle, I need to go in the clockwise direction. Anything in the clockwise direction is j. is negative. So j cap cross I cap will give minus k cap. So that's what we got from the right hand thumb rule also. Similar is the case with other cross products, which I'm leaving it to you for trying out. Now we will see the last concept of this video, that is finding the cross product of two given vectors using the determinant method. So let's say the two given vectors are a vector is equal to a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus a3 k cap, and b vector is equal to b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus b3 k cap. So when I say determinant method, a vector cross b vector should be treated like this. Put a line like this and another line like this. Write the orthogonal unit vectors in the first row. Remember, anything written horizontally is called as a row, and anything written along the vertical is called as the column. Okay. So I will write I cap, j cap and k cap. Take a pencil, put a plus, minus and a plus sign. The reason for this will be seen in your mathematics under a chapter named determinants. As of now, follow this: I cap, j cap and k cap, where I cap has positive sign, j cap negative and k cap is positive. Write the coefficients of the first vector in the second row, that is a1, a2 and a3. Similarly, write the coefficients of the second vector in the third row, b1, b2 and b3. So start with I cap, and as I told you, I cap has a positive sign, and open a bracket. Then wherever I cap is there, hide the corresponding row and the corresponding column. Then what are all the elements you will be able to see? You will be able to see a2, a3 and b2, b3. So cross multiply them and subtract. So a2 should be multiplied with b3 and a3 should be multiplied with b2, and they should be subtracted from each other. So write it as a2 b3 minus a3 b2. Next, j cap has a negative sign, so write it as minus j cap, open a bracket. Now hide the corresponding column and row where j cap is involved. So when you hide them, the elements you will be able to find is a1, b1, a3 and b3, right? So cross multiply them, a1 into b3 minus a3 into b1. Next is write plus k cap. So hide the corresponding column and the corresponding row where k cap is involved, and the elements you will be able to see is a1, a2 and b1, b2. Cross multiply and subtract them. So you will get a1, b2 minus a2, b1, and this will be the desired vector for which the this will be the output of the cross product of the two given vectors, and the method is called as determinant method.